Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my God. What? What's going on? Why isn't this working? An error occurred. Please try back again. Okay, let's see if this is on. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if if this is working. Let's see. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. I'm getting an error message, so let's see. Let's see. Hopefully. Oh, good. It is working. Or is it? It is working. Okay, excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. And it is with great pleasure that I'm going to let you know the Honorable Justice Ginsburg, RBG, has helped President Trump. Thank you, Eric H526. And so there's a delay now, which hurts House Democrats. They want his financial records. And I always say when it gets to the Supreme Court, they're not going to have any of it, because he's going to appeal to the Supreme Court every step of the way. Every single step of the way he's going to appeal to the Supreme Court. Every single step of the way he's going to appeal to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court's going to say, why do you need his financial records? Why? Did he commit a crime? Well, we want to find out if we can actually better existing laws. We want to find out if we can, if there are some, things we could do to make existing laws even better for the United States. Nah, that's not, you're not going to trick or deceive the Supreme Court. Even a liberal judge, even a liberal justice like Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not going to buy that. So this gives time for President Trump and the White House legal team to mount an even greater defense. So release of Trump's banking records delayed by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, New York Times. CNBC, Justice Ginsburg puts temporary hold on Trump financial records dispute. Politico, Justice Ginsburg temporarily halts Trump financial records. So, this is a major victory. This is a major victory. A major victory for President Trump, and it's a major defeat for Democrats, congressional Democrats, because their argument has always been, ladies and gentlemen, this is a dire national security risk, or he has committed crimes, and we have to get to the bottom of this. This is extremely important. This is Congress oversight. This has nothing to do with oversight. They haven't even accused Trump of a specific financial crime. They're just upset that Deutsche Bank gave him loans. Then they say, well, he didn't deserve the loans. That's not for anyone else to. That's between Deutsche Bank and the person. It's like a football team. Your star quarterback you give different treatment to than your third string linebacker. It's just, so Trump got loans that other people couldn't. Well, his name is Trump. He has a brand that he's built since the 80s. And then they say, well, he's not really that rich. So what? Who cares? They're always trying to cut him down to size, and it doesn't work. It never, ever works. So, let's read this. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg temporarily blocked a lower court ruling ordering two banks to release President Donald Trump's financial records to House Democrats. Trump had asked Ginsburg to consider the emergency request earlier Friday. The temporary stay sets the issue on hold pending full consideration by the High Court. It does not reflect how judges will rule in the underlying case. Well, okay, but that's fine. But if the underlying case was as important as House Democrats say it was, Trump would not have received the delay. Everything is of monumental, grandiose importance and has to be done right now, according to Democrats. It has to be done yesterday. They're going to impeach Trump on a phone conversation where nobody has any direct evidence that he was, A, worried about Biden, because that's hilarious. Nobody's worried about Biden. Clinton is going to be nominee. And I explained today in my segments, once Biden denies any demand by the White House and by Senate Republicans to show up and testify and answer questions about how he has zero conflicts of interest. Oh, zero, because the impeachment is based upon the belief that Trump just makes things up. Sandiford now taking bets on how long it takes for the left to start denouncing RBG. I'll tell you this: if RBG rules in favor of Trump when it reaches the Supreme Court, you're going to see people completely do exactly as you said, Sandiford. Thank you. Denise Ballard. Hello, Denise. Thank you, Denise. Did you see Jack Posobiec's story on about the exculpatory evidence that Schiff accidentally included in his impeachment report? No, I didn't. I didn't, but I got to check that out. I didn't. I have not. But, I mean, from disclosing phone calls and private information, and I mean, this is why Denise. This is why they're like a train wreck. It's when you devote your life like Democrats devote their existence, their entire existence, to despising the Orange Menace. Like, that's all they do. That's all they do. Thank you, Denise, very much. I have to check that out. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for watching. Adam Schiff, this has been a debacle for Schiff and Nadler and Pelosi. And then you have, like, this hilarious, like, it comes with a heavy heart that I don't want to do this. Like, no, you... no one believes them. But see, they don't need... Like, the Democrats don't need to believe them. Nobody, they just need to do things. They don't need to be sincere. They don't need to be sincere. You know, that it's not a sincerity or being genuine. They don't need that. They just need to, all they need to do is impeach Trump, investigate Trump. They're not passing any Medicare for all bills. They're not running on a value system. They're not running on because they don't even want Medicare for all. They're just deceiving. I kept saying to people when I was on the left, I said, they're not serious. The Democratic Party has an existential crisis. The best they can do is become Republican light on a whole lot of things. Because their most interesting or energizing or electric policies, their most interesting policies, provocative policies, and you know, the Medicare for all idea, the Green New Deal, free college tuition, abolishing student debt. They haven't passed any of these bills. They have the House. They haven't passed any of these bills. So, Denise, thank you so very much. I do not doubt that it's not working out for Schiff. The stay is ordered until 5 p.m. on December 13, and the court ordered that a response must be filed on or before December 11th at 8:11 a.m. The emergency filing came after a federal appeals court in New York ruled on Tuesday that Deutsche Bank, it's always in New York. And it's like unbelievable. Fine, he does business in New York. But it's like New York is, you have two Democrats as senators. The majority of the representatives in the House are Democrat. The mayor's a Democrat. The majority of New York is composed of Democrats. And then you have Mr. Stop and Frisk, Michael Bloomberg, who has less than a zero chance, if there is zero chance of becoming nominee, who's only paving the way for Clinton. But you look at when Democrats are in an office, whether it's mayor or look what Stop and Frisk with Bloomberg and mass incarceration with Clinton. I mean, my God. And then Trump signs the First Step Act, prison reform legislation, and he's like the biggest orange monster that's ever lived. But anyway, the emergency filing came after a federal appeals court in New York ruled on Tuesday that Deutsche Bank and Capital One should comply with subpoenas from the House Financial Services and House Intelligence Committee seeking information about Trump's finances. For what purpose? Notice how this is not part of an FBI probe. Congress is not a law enforcement agency. So there's no reason, zero reason, why they need Trump's taxes or Trump's financial information. Zero. On the other hand, because the Vice President Biden's son just recently lost a court case, his tax returns are being disclosed by the court. Thanks for playing, devoting your life to trying to undermine Trump. And actually, it's not, Hunter didn't even, he hasn't even been part of this, this charade. But he got caught up. And you know, I mean, it's very funny. Certainly, Madam Secretary had nothing to do with this, but it's so funny how she benefits tremendously. Isn't that interesting? That's so funny. The emergency filing came after a federal court in New York ruled on Tuesday that Deutsche Bank and Capital One should comply with, from House Financial Services and House Intelligence Committee seeking information. Why are they seeking information? For what purpose? It's hilarious how, like, the prototypical, the epitome of a money laundering scheme where, Uranium One gives money into a foundation, beneficial treatment takes place, and then they say, well, it has nothing to do with it. Well, then why did it happen? Why did UBS give money? Why did Boeing give money? Did they all give money? Why do people from other countries give money? So the foundation run by Bill and Hillary, why are people giving money? For what purpose? Of all different backgrounds. And they're giving money more than ever while Clinton is Secretary of State. And they're getting major weapons deals, more so than the Bush administration. And President Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. So how does that happen? The House, seeks documents including tax returns, evidence of suspicious activity. Evidence? They seek documents. They seek evidence of suspicious activity in the case of Deutsche Bank. Any internal communications regarding Trump and his ties to foreign individuals. For what purpose? It is not illegal to have ties to foreign individuals. For what purpose? For what purpose? He hasn't been accused of any quid pro quo. There's not a foreign policy decision that he's been accused of that is related to any of his financial dealings. So what are they doing? It's unbelievable. I mean, they're really hilarious. They're like, well, you know what? He's doing something bad. Like, well, how do you know? He just is. What? Trump-related requests are piling up at the Supreme Court, and the outcomes could set precedent on significant questions related to separation of power issues. What? That's hilarious. And whether a president is immune from state-based criminal investigations while in office. State-based criminal investigations? Yeah, he should be immune if they're purely political in nature. There's no... They went after Trump with Michael Cohen. They went after Trump with Mueller. They went after Trump with a dossier. They went after Trump. They can't find anything because he didn't do anything, unlike Clinton, who did engage in owning a server with top secret intel for 4 years. This is Max Boot wrote an article in the Washington Post. They're so hilarious. He's like, oh, hypocrite Republicans. I don't want to hear anything about our emails. You don't have to hear anything about our emails. Don't worry. William Barr and John Durham will continue talking about them because she had servers running outside of the United States government. Technically, the United States government had no access to her emails, her servers, her cell phones, her data, her communication. Nothing in terms of Freedom of Information Act. Nothing in terms of even intelligence agencies knowing what she was doing. On Thursday, the president asked the justices to overturn the D.C. Circuit of the U.S. Court of Appeals decision requiring his accounting from Measures USA to turn over financial records in compliance with the House Oversight Committee. For what purpose? They're like, well, this is a separation of powers issue. No, it's not. He didn't commit a crime. He didn't commit a crime. What was the crime he committed? Because if it's just suspicion, then do the same thing to both Clintons. They literally stated in the campaign emails that there are 500 conflicts of interest related to the Clinton Foundation. I mean, it's interesting, too, that nobody talks about the DNC emails. Agent Pepsi won. Thank you, Denise, by the way. Thank you. Agent Pepsi won. Top Dems. The HQ want Trump to be impeached twice. If that's right, Senate doesn't support them. Dems forgot to take. Yeah. Agent Pepsi won. Yeah, I heard that. So, the interesting thing is that with that, they're not going to have any. They'll impeach Trump once. They're not going to impeach him twice if he wins again because they won't have a mandate. I mean, they don't really have a mandate now, but they don't. It's kind of hilarious. They just look. They don't oppose Trump. This is what Victor Davis Hanson stated. Professor Victor Davis Hanson, Stanford, awesome, wrote the case for Trump. He is an American military historian. He's awesome. I just bought his book. I'm reading his book. It's pretty awesome. And he says they don't. It's really profound. A lot of great things he talks about, but they don't oppose Trump. They despise him. It's totally different from opposing somebody. They're not really opposing Trump. They're not really opposing President Trump. They despise him. So it's a different ball game. And they're playing a ball game where they're creating their own rules and they just don't have an actual framework, or they don't have any concept of victory. They want Trump out of office. They know that they're going to lose. They know that Clinton is going to run against Trump. They're going to go at it again. They have enough people to get 60 million plus people. This is the thing when you're Trump or Clinton, it's pretty simple. Democrats are going to go with Clinton because can Biden get 60 million people to vote for him? No. I don't even think he would get 55 million. I really don't. Clinton got close to 65 million. I don't see how he would get. I mean, who is going to take time off of work to vote for Biden? Now, there will be people who take time off work to vote for Clinton. Clinton does have a base. She does have a base. And they're passionate. And guess what? I hate to say this. They fight. And they just don't roll over and say, okay, sorry, well, guess we'll just rally around Bernie. They don't do that. They make sure Bernie doesn't win, and they demand allegiance from the vanquished. They demand allegiance. So, the I'm with her crowd runs the Democratic Party. You just have a lot of people on social media thinking that, if they get retweeted, if they get liked, if their posts get liked, or if their posts are popular, that, they'll take it to the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is never going to change from within. And the people who thought that they would change from within, or the people who thought that they're actually, I don't want to be mean, but the voices of people, I'll just leave it, I'll keep it at people who voted Clinton in 2016, who then say they want Medicare for all. Those people are engaged in a charade. You cannot allow a political machine to get away with cheating and then think that the political machine will implement the policies of the person they cheated. That's absurd. Only an imbecile would believe that. So Democrats have zero reason to change, which is why I knew in 2017, I'm like, they haven't changed. And I wrote my article in February of 2017. I mean, she just lost, to Trump a couple months earlier. And I knew they didn't change. I thought, because I was very naive to a great extent. I thought that the loss, that they would utilize the, just being stunned, and they would utilize the shock of losing to Trump to actually, change their political party. Perhaps, push for things that were exciting, or that would, I don't know. At least I thought that they would at least look and say, okay, we went with Clinton. That didn't work out. But instead of saying that, they said, we did the right decision, and we'll do it again. And guess what? It was the Russians and everything else. It was the Russians and everybody else. It wasn't us. It was the Russians. It was James Comey, even though that was a failed cover-up. It was just everything else. Their entire lives. I'm so tired. I'm so sick of hearing about how, the Russians cheated them. No, the Russians didn't cheat them. Madge. Oh, thank God. You're still alive, just checking. Really? Madge. Hope all is well. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely do not want to be part of any of those message boards. Madge, thank you. Hope all is well. Thank you for watching. Let's see. So, their entire lives. Thank you, Madge Mac. Thank you again. Their entire lives are like, oh my God, these Facebook ads. So many people get their information from Facebook. How about stand on some principles and some policies that no matter what disinformation or misinformation is out there, people can actually say, I don't care what I read, I want this. So I don't care what I read about Trump. Most of it is nonsense anyway. It is the life's mission of the Washington Post and the New York Times, and they have to retract their stories all the time. CNN especially. And they're all of their major stories against Trump, all of their major stories, especially during the Russia probe, was according to sources. None of it panned out. Oh my God, he had a meeting here. Oh my God, you connect the dots. It was like that scene from, was that scene of the movie? The guy was like a math genius, and he had a shed with all the different papers, and oh my God, connecting this and that and that. And none of their theories, their conspiratorial theories, bolstered by intelligence chiefs who couldn't stand Trump, none of them worked out. None of them. So, and then they were like, oh, he obstructed justice. How did he obstruct justice? He didn't commit a crime. They didn't find any evidence of a crime. So how could he have obstructed an investigation where they couldn't find evidence of a crime? Usually you obstruct justice when there's a criminal act and they're trying to find out your link to a criminal act, and then you obstruct their ability to find out the link. With this case, it's like completely backwards. So it's interesting how they Tim Prin. I challenge you to a push-up contest, sir. Yeah, you know what? You probably win. You'll probably win. I can do maybe, I don't know, maximum 40 push-ups, like in one go. Yeah. But Tim, thank you. I'll give you the win on that. Tim. Thank you. But the Democrats, it's like they keep on. The goal is simply to run as many stories about how he could potentially be corrupt, to run as many stories about how other people like John Brennan and Comey state that he really worked with Russia. That's the goal here, is simply to run as many, just throw out as many. It actually doesn't work, too, because they've done too much. After the Mueller probe that couldn't find any evidence of collusion, that's it. They ran out of steam. They completely ran out of steam. Now they're the people really interested in impeachment are just people who really don't like Trump. Like it's not the independents who were kind of interested in the Mueller probe, but even they were like, "What's going on? This is ridiculous." So, that's, you know, after the Mueller probe, they completely lost credibility because they tried the best they could and it still didn't work. They had a special counsel for something that never happened. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, they had a special counsel for something that never happened. And then you have Biden, who's like, I challenge you to do... Oh, that's right, Tim. That's what you're referring That's what you're referring to. So, Tim, and everybody here, you know, Biden, I couldn't imagine him doing more than even 10, maximum 15 push-ups. I don't know. I mean, if he does push-ups every single day, he doesn't look like... I guess, you know, he's thin, or he doesn't look, you know, I guess... I don't know. I don't know what it doesn't look like he's in that great of shape. He really doesn't. He just looks like an older gentleman of his age. That's it. And he was trying to go after that other gentleman in Iowa. That other gentleman is actually an Elizabeth Warren fan. So it's like he knows he's not going to win. He knows he's just a placeholder for Clinton. So he doesn't care. He's like, I challenge you to push-ups, huh? And then he calls him fat. And you listen, fat. It's like, oh my God, you're the last person. Biden is the last person. Biden is the last person to disparage or poke fun at anyone. You know, he's like everything that he says never has a positive spin. There's nothing that you can attribute recently to what Biden has said that's actually positive. You can't say, wow, that's really thought-provoking. Does anyone know anything that he said recently that's thought-provoking? Does anyone know anything he said about policy? Democrats are like, oh, we're so into policy. Well, what is he? He doesn't want Medicare for all. He doesn't want anything that Bernie or Warren want. Maybe there's like one thing recently. No. So, it's just, they know, look, when Hillary Clinton goes on Howard Stern, everyone is talking about it. Everyone is talking about it. Then you have Hillary Clinton and Michael Bloomberg dine together in New York. This is hilarious. I'm going to do a segment on this on H.A. Goodman's other channel. She is so running. Not only did I call this in 2017, that'll be the biggest political. I don't want to toot my own horn, but that'll be the biggest political call of all time, because it's something. It's kind of hilarious. It should be something benign, like innocuous, like not that big of a deal. Oh, a political candidate's running again. No, this is. When I was saying in 2015 in the Hill, the Huffington Post, and the Salon, Clinton cannot win, she's unelectable, people were like, oh my God, how dare you? And then you have like Washington, to GOP hypocrites, I never want to hear about Hillary Clinton's emails again. Oh, you will. And you'll hear about her servers. Because Trump never owned servers. It's very different. She owned servers for 4 years. Many servers that stored top secret and special access program intelligence. And then he goes and this guy, the author, he cites a New York Times article that we don't even know if he gave a foreign diplomat classified information. That's according to a source. It literally states according to sources. There's no criminal probe. She used servers for 4 years that theoretically the United States government had no access to. This is not rocket science. It's so difficult for them to understand. It's like, this is public record. Read James Comey's book. You can actually read his book. He says it right there. She actually used an AT&T email account before servers, which is hilarious. So, Eater, New York, Eater.com. Hillary Clinton and Michael Bloomberg dined together. Gee, that's just, you know why? Because she's going to knock on doors for Clinton, for Bloomberg. This is so hilarious. Panzer Esquire, thank you. Biden can't talk and keep his eye from bursting or his teeth from falling. How many push-ups can he really do? Yeah, exactly. I don't think that he can do many. And you know what the interesting thing is? Thank you, Panzer Esquire. Thank you. The interesting thing is, it's like he doesn't seem to care. Ghostmon, thank you. He doesn't seem to care that everything he says is always like nonsensical or irrational. Like he's always combating he's always getting belligerent with some reporter. Nobody is enthusiastic about the Biden campaign. Nobody. Exactly, and his eye. Exactly, he had that eye thing on CNN. I mean, it's like this is unbelievable. You couldn't like script this. A lot of these things, I'm sure they're happening, and it's like, oh my God, Clinton must be thinking like, hey, you don't have to go all out. You don't really have to go all out. You just have to act. But this is fantastic. You're doing a great job. Presidential wannabes dying together. New York political royalty Michael Bloomberg and Hillary Clinton were spotted eating dinner together this week at a theater district Italian restaurant. The former New York City Mayor and Secretary of State, respectively, dined at Orso with Clinton's daughter Chelsea and her husband Mark. Okay. So, it's just hilarious. Of course Clinton is running. Of course Clinton is running. The really interesting thing is that the people who don't want to believe, because they don't like Trump, but they're like so petrified. They're absolutely petrified that Clinton would run again, which is hilarious. And they'll vote for Clinton again after spending 3+ years condemning this and that. And then they'll vote for somebody that's the epitome of what they condemned. So there you go. There you go. I mean, this election is going to completely change the paradigm. And I'll say this. Even if 20% of Democrats say, my God, what happened? Because you would expect that like 90% of Democrats, once they lose again with Clinton, you would expect, because the economy is too good, you would expect them to be like, my God, this political party needs to be completely rebuilt. But I'm saying probably realistically, it's only going to be like 20% that actually have the courage to actually say that. You know. I mean, you know. So, it's just kind of interesting, you know. This it's very bizarre. The media also, when Clinton runs, it will be the biggest media event since the election. It'll be like a mini election, because they're going to be like, oh my God, she can win, she can't win, she can win, she can't win. And then it'll be like, oh, she's back, oh my God. And then the only person to have called this is me. I am the only person since 2017 consistently in the Huffington Post, by the way, calling it. And I knew, I said this headline has to be like, so nobody, Clinton 2020 is a reality, get ready for 8 years of Trump. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. Cody Corolla! I don't know how anyone could eat while her face in front of them. I straight. Cody! Well, you know what, Cody, it's the I'm with her crowd. They love. That's why I knew. Thank you, Eric H526. They love Hillary. They love her. Cody, they love her. That's the thing. That's the thing. They absolutely love her. So, that's the thing. Thank you, Arya. Thank you. They love, you have to understand, like, and also, like, people on the left, they don't get this. There are more people passionate about Clinton than there are about Bernie Sanders, and I'll explain what I'm saying here. The average Bernie Sanders voter is going to vote for Clinton. The average Clinton voter would never in 1 million years vote for Bernie. Never. First of all, they would take it as an affront, they would take it as an insult, and they would take it as they don't handle defeat well. In case you haven't noticed, They don't handle defeat well. If they lost to Bernie Sanders, and it took me a long time to realize this, they would never vote for him. They didn't even want to vote for President Obama. The I'm with her crowd, I'll give them this. They're like Bernie. They're like me, what I used to be, the Bernie or bust type person. But they're like, they demand obedience, loyalty, allegiance, and they give none. But they demand it. And there's more Democrats who would not vote for Bernie, because just look at the dynamics. The average Bernie Sanders voter isn't going to not vote for Clinton. So So they can cheat him all. It's not like they don't have an incentive not to cheat. They'll just fall in line again. And the same people talking about Medicare for all, if they say vote Clinton, they're just perpetuating the same dysfunctional political machine. But see, it's too much for them to grasp. So, thank you, Cody. They don't, look, they run things with an iron fist. And their entire lives are based on deception. Clinton, Madam Secretary, doesn't want to run. Don't you understand? Don't you understand she doesn't want to run? Because she's a normal, Madam Secretary is a normal, well-adjusted human being who hasn't devoted life towards an unending quest for political influence. And she doesn't have unbridled passion, not seen since Attila the Hun. Unbridled ambition. You know. That's the thing. You know, it's like they don't get it. They think that Clinton is like totally normal. Just totally normal. Don't you understand? Their whole thing is when Clinton runs again, they'll say like, wow, you know, they'll say, she's doing this for us? You mean to tell me she could be relaxing and walking in the woods? You mean she could be walking in the actual woods? But she's trying to become president? I have to vote for this person, especially after the Howard Stern interview where she was just so human-like and wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Christina, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a little late, and I want to thank everyone. Everyone, God bless you. Thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Thanks everybody for tuning in so late. And this is a huge victory for President Trump because it shows that this is not urgent. This business is not urgent. Democrats are just going after Trump. And Justice Ginsburg gave Trump a huge victory. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great, great, great evening.